welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, then welcome to my channel. I'm so happy that you are here to share in my random thoughts and in my life. So recently I was asked, what advice would you give to a new Air Force wife? And I wanted to come on here and talk about my answer. Because, I mean, first of all, it's a totally common question that I'm pretty sure all of us ask. And maybe you're looking for the same advice. So the first thing I said was, congratulations, because either you just got married or you're about to get married or you're engaged or something, and that's a really exciting time in life to be in, so yay you. But personally, there's no difference between a wife and an Air Force wife, because no matter what, you are a wife. You are his or her spouse, regardless of their job. So whatever wife means to you and your spouse is all that is. Whether that means you stay home and you clean the house and take care of the kids, or you split the work evenly, or you both work outside of the home and then you figure out how to take care of the house. Wife doesn't mean homemaker, and it certainly doesn't mean that just because your husband is working in the military means you have to stay home and do everything else and he can't help. That's not what that means at all. Just do whatever is best for the two of you and ignore everybody else. As far as staying in touch with people, FaceTime and texting is key. Comment on their Facebook every now and then, do what you want, but like set time aside. You can schedule it. It may feel dumb at first, but schedule a time to talk with them if they really matter to you. And text them, you know, when things happen, if you want them to know about it. Like I use my Facebook, not my story, but like I put up pictures so my family that's far away can like see what's going on, but I still also talk to them. Like I email them or I call them or I text them, whatever works best, so they are updated with my life, but then they can just like see pictures if they feel like it. This particular girl that asked the question was concerned that she had heard about a lot of wives getting depressed, and some do. Some go through stages of depression. Some are actually clinically depressed. That is a thing, and if you feel like you are, please go talk to somebody. Because, I mean, we get lonely. We get taken out of this life that we know. We move from our home and our family and we start over. And the only thing we've got is our husband and maybe some kids and a dog, or maybe dogs and a kid, or no, whatever. And then we get settled in, we build this new house, we build this new life, maybe find a job, maybe, I don't know, we find some new friends, and then a couple of years later it starts all over again. And that's really hard. But it's okay. My number one thing for that is no matter where you go, whether it's middle of nowhere, Texas, or your dream base, just know that you have to make your own fun. It's nobody's job to come and get you out of your house and make sure you're out there having a good time. It is nobody's job to reach out and make sure you have friends. It is nobody's job to show you around and show you all the fun things there is to do. There are people that will, and that's awesome, and maybe you can become one of those people because you know that it can be kind of hard. But if you go into a base, any base, even if you think you're gonna love it or you think you're gonna hate it, go in knowing that you have to make your own fun, and it'll be a lot better. There are things to do no matter where you go. Just some places you may have to look at a little harder for them. Like the base we're at right now, Goodfellow, is kind of tiny. The town is smaller than what we're used to. It's not totally tiny, but it's not our favorite place. We know some people that just adore it. There's actually plenty of people that have come back and retired because they just loved San Angelo so much. And so it does work for some people. Some people really do love it. And there are things to do here. You just have to get out and go look for them. Don't sit in your house and complain, there's nothing to do and I hate it and this place sucks, because then nobody wants to be your friend. Because why would they? You're boring and all you do is complain. Like, go find a coffee shop or a bar or a restaurant or a hobby. Join the spouses club. Most bases have them and they're awesome. I loved it in Florida. Even if you think like, oh, but the spouses club is like all seasoned spouses, or they're just a little bit older, they're all older than I am, they're not gonna want to talk to me. When we were in Florida, I joined the spouses club because I was like, what is this about? And they had little like subsections. So they had like a book club and a lunch club, and the one that I really enjoyed was the wine club. When I went to the wine club the first time, I was a little nervous, but I was like, you know what? Who doesn't love wine? Anybody who's here loves wine. Me too. Maybe I'll learn some stuff and I'll just meet some people and it'll be great. Now, I did not meet any lifelong friends there. Hear that. But I did find a place to go once a month to hang out with these women that actually really loved talking to me, because I was younger than all of them, but they all loved that I was there and putting myself out there, and I loved listening to what they had to say. And, you know, they would talk about we'd switch places. So like somebody would host this week, and like her table was from Germany. And like, oh my gosh, how did you find it? What was your favorite part about Germany? Did you love it? What did you do? Or like, oh, that picture on the wall, that's really gorgeous. Oh, that was from our time in like Utah, and this is what we actually really loved about that place. Or, oh, this is advice for raising kids or something. I just had the best time getting to know these women. So don't be afraid. Like the older spouses, they want you to be there, and they want to hang out with you, and they want to talk to you. It's okay. You just have to not put up a face of, don't talk to me. If you do go to a base that you don't like, go into it saying, I may never love it here, but I'm gonna do the best with what I have. And you will be much better off than you will if you go in saying, I hate it and I can't wait to move. Because you don't know when you're gonna move. It is not guaranteed that you're gonna move in 4 years. Some people get stuck places 9, 10, 16 years. Some people move within a year. But if you also spend your whole time trying to get out of a base, you're still gonna be miserable, because every time you get rejected, you're still there. My next piece of advice was that communication is key. If you are upset with your spouse, tell them. Don't tell Facebook, don't tell your mom. I mean, you can tell your mom, you can tell your friends, but sooner or later, you're gonna have to tell your spouse that you're upset with them and why you're upset with them, or the problem will get fixed. You cannot expect them to just figure it out. That doesn't make any sense. They're not mind readers, they're not psychic. You have to tell them, and it'll get much better, much quicker when you learn to tell them like, hey, when you did this, it made me feel. When I feel this way about this thing that occurred or this thing that you said, I would like to let you know and find a way to make that better. If you're sad and lonely, tell your spouse. I've seen so many people say, well, I don't want to stress them out. Like, they're already doing so much at work. Yeah, they are. They're stressed. But they're your spouse. They're your partner in life. They literally signed on for this, to be with you, for better or for worse. And it's not fair to you to keep that all in on yourself. You need someone to talk to, and that is supposed to be your spouse. So just tell them. And then if you're still struggling, there are resources at every base that you can go to. Military One Source is a great one, or the chapels. They're there for you for that reason. But communication is key. You absolutely need to talk to your spouse, whether things are good or bad. Tell them when things are good. Tell them you love them like you do, and that one comes easy. But talking about, hey, I'm really upset with you, or I'm really upset with this situation, or I'm really sad. That was really hard for me when we moved here to Texas. Neither of us liked it. And I tried to keep it in. I tried to stay positive the whole dang time. And a couple months in, I just broke down. I couldn't do it anymore, and I said, I'm sorry, I'm trying so hard to make this okay for you, because I know that it's not your favorite either, and you're stressed because now you've got this new job and whatever, but like, I'm miserable. I'm not miserable. Like I said, I'm sad that we're here. I really don't like it. I know I'm never gonna like it, but I'm trying so hard to stay positive and to find things for us to like. But I can't do it all the time. And he was like, that's okay. I don't expect you to be happy all the time anyway, even if we're in a place that we like. And if I had just said that from the beginning, we could have worked on it sooner. So communication is key. Air Force life, military life is not nearly as stressful as everybody told me it was going to be when he first joined. You guys, stop telling people that it's the most stressful thing ever. It's not. All we're doing is living life, and then occasionally the government is like, hey, you're gonna move, or like, hey, we need you to work this funky shift or something. Like, you're not stressed. If you're stressed all the time, go talk to somebody. That's also what they're there for, but you don't need that. That's not healthy. You're gonna be just fine. Just take a deep breath, do what you gotta do, take a bath, eat some chocolate, I don't know, and know that you're gonna be okay, and it is not nearly as stressful as everybody says it is. Utilize the resources on base. Oh my gosh, you guys, there are so many resources available to you. I can only talk to the 2 bases we've been to, and they are Air Force bases, so that's what I've got. But there's hotels if you need them. There's temporary lodging for when you move. The AFRC, Airmen and Family Readiness Center, is an awesome, awesome resource for just about everything. They usually have the career center or somebody in there to help with finding a job, or at least helping with building your resume and writing it correctly and helping you do that so you can get a job. But they also have things like HeartLink. go to HeartLink when you move to a new base, especially your first one. HeartLink is, I don't know if it's military-wide, but it's definitely, I believe it's Air Force-wide. It is like a spouse orientation. So they'll talk sometimes about like TRICARE or things that are like, this is how things run in the Air Force, but a lot of it will be base, but they'll bring in people from around the base. Like they brought in, when we were at Eglin, they brought in FSS, they obviously had the AFRC, they brought in medical, they even brought in stuff for retirement, because it's not just for new spouses. They brought in the spouses club. Go to HeartLink. It's really great. It'll acclimate you to military life, and it'll acclimate you to your new base. Oh, the AFRC also has workshops all the time for relationships or budgets, other financial things. They are a good place to start if you're wanting counseling with like Military One Source. They're awesome. Just go talk to them. You can also volunteer with them. FSS, the Force Support Squadron, is usually the ones that have all the fun stuff. Check them out. Find their Facebook, find their website. Like, they work really hard to give you things to do, even on the smaller bases like Goodfellow. Bowling alley, or if there's an arts and crafts center, or something like that on the base, go use it, or they won't make money and they'll have to shut down, and then there really won't be anything to do, so. The gyms, there's gyms for free. You can just go. Use the gyms. Please don't feel the need to have kids, I say as I'm pregnant, but don't feel the need to rush into that. It does sometimes, I talked about this in another video, about how it does kind of feel like people just like join the military, get married, have kids. It's like all right away. And it's not. I mean, for some people it is that way, and it doesn't have to be. You don't have to have kids. If you don't want them, you don't have to have them at all. It's not a requirement. It's also not a requirement to have kids young if that's not what you want. You can wait as long as you darn well please. So do that. Don't take that decision lightly. Don't think, oh, if we have kids, our marriage will get better. It won't. That's not how that works. Kids don't fix your marriage. Kids are not a tool for that. That's not fair to them. Also, childcare is expensive, so look into that too. Oh, you also don't just get extra pay per kid. Some people think that. It's not true. So don't think, oh, we'll have another kid and get paid more. There are wives that are super cliquey. And husbands, to be honest, their spouses. Because you know what? We're human beings. People get cliquey and mean. Ignore it. It's not like that everywhere. You don't need them in your life. The two biggest things that I heard when Joseph first joined were military life is super stressful all the time, and oh, he's gonna cheat. No. Not everybody in the military cheats. So first of all, if you have a husband, he's gonna have to work with women. You're gonna have to deal with that. If you have a wife, she's gonna have to work with men, and you're gonna have to deal with it. Not everybody in the military cheats. That's not fair. It's just a small community, and so everything is magnified. People cheat outside of the military all the time. You'll be much better off when you just accept that your spouse has to work with the opposite gender, and you don't need to worry about it. Until you're really given cause, you're fine. Another question that I get, that I see asked a lot, that I want to throw in here is good books for military marriage specifically. And again, goes back to the first point I made, you're a wife or a husband no matter what their job is, so you're married no matter what their job is. Yes, there are some trials that come and make military life a little bit difficult, like deployments and whatever, but you don't need military-specific marriage books. My first recommendation is 5 Love Languages. It's a really good one. There is a military version if you prefer that, but the normal one is just as good. The Love Dare is pretty good, and my mom actually wrote a book called Dancing in the Kitchen, Hope and Help for Staying in Love. And it's a bunch of stories of different couples that have been together and either they stayed together or they didn't, and what worked and what didn't and why they think it did or didn't work. My mom's very passionate about staying in love and keeping marriage alive. And there is a military couple in the book, so you should check that out in the link below. Shout out to you, Mom. Check that out. If you guys ever have questions, please send them in. I love answering questions. And if you have something you want me to talk about, let me know. Hit me up. If you want to see, if there's something you want to see me or my husband or both of us do, let us know. Otherwise, we'll just keep you updated on our lives and our adventures until you suggest something. Okay, see you next time.